Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Taylora Schlosser, who is the superintendent for the Marion County School System. And as we're recording this, it's actually a snow day for the school district, an ice day maybe would be a better term for it actually this time. And it's an actual ice day, which means that you have your staff here, but the teachers and students were off today, correct?
Right, the central office is working today, and actually the administrators, custodians, our mechanics at the bus garage are working, but as far as the teachers, the school level staff, they're not here, nor are the kids here. So this is just what you would traditionally call like a snow day, but like you said, the weather's been a little bit different than snow. So no school today.
Yes. And what they were reporting, the reason why is, talking about ice, it is rain. I mean, we knew we weren't going to have snow. It was rain that was coming, but the situation was the ground was so cold, because we've been so cold for so long, that the fear was that it might turn into ice.
Well, what we found this morning, we started checking roads at 4 o'clock this morning. What we found that there were just patchy spots of ice, and that's what the National Weather Service had told us. They said you may see ice on one street, and 2 streets over there may not be any. And a lot of times in Marion County, Gary, that's what we'll see. You may have the east end of the county that has ice or snow, and the west end none, or vice versa. It just really depends on how the weather comes in. Also, one of the things the viewers may not know is that myself and Mr. Spalding and some of our support staff at the bus garage, we also talk to other neighboring districts. So we're talking to Nelson County, Boyle County, Washington County, Taylor County, Campbellsville, LaRue County. I mean, we're talking to everybody. So, you know, they are also reporting back to us, you know, what they're seeing on their end of the county, which obviously matches up with us. And so again, they were seeing the same thing. Another thing we did this morning is we called the National Weather Service, because obviously, like you said, it's all about the temperatures. And what they were reporting is that actually the temperatures were going to drop about the time we were going to get the kids on the bus. And again, you had ice. Another thing that we always keep in mind when we're dealing with bad weather, this kind of weather, not necessarily flooding, but is that we have sidewalks to clear and parking lots to clear. So sometimes you may have the majority of the main roads are fine because our highway departments, our county and state road crews do a fantastic job with that. But then we have 8 schools plus the central office, the bus garage, and the community ed center, parking lots and sidewalks. So it's not just about the drive in, also it's just about the conditions of when you get here.
Right.
So there is definitely a lot to deciding whether or not we're going to have school, but I will tell you this, our #1 priority is safety, and there's a lot of background work that takes place to make that decision.
Yes, because it's cars on the road that can slip, but also people walking, that's an issue as well when it's ice, and ice is something you don't deal with.
You know, last week we had a couple of delays, and it was because of the bitter cold. Plus, we had several substitute bus drivers. So if you think about that, you've got a sub bus driver, which our bus drivers do an awesome job. We have a fantastic crew. But just thinking, if you're a sub driver, you're out on a route you've never been before, sometimes just that hour of daylight can just make it a lot safer for that sub driver. They're going to make sure they see the kids. We have some pretty tough turnarounds out in the rural parts of the county. So, you know, again, it just goes back to safety and making sure our kids are okay.
That's great. Now, speaking of that, we're going to talk in a minute about an appreciation that's going on this week, but also, I think since the last time we spoke, there was a bus driver appreciation week or month that we kind of didn't get a chance to talk about. So you mentioned the bus drivers, and you did have that kind of recognition for them. How many bus drivers approximately, do you have any idea there are?
We have about 36 routes. We have 40 plus bus drivers. We have 4 mechanics. We have a great lady in the office, Terry, that takes care of all the request phone calls. We have a couple of folks that are actually bus drivers and bus driver trainers. Kenny Mills actually works with us, and he orders all the parts. He took Ricky Courtwright's place, which I have to just on a side note say, Ricky worked for the Board of Education for over 40 years and just recently retired, and we hate to lose him, but he definitely had high expectations, and so as we've come in and started that process, Kenny Mills has taken his place and is doing a great job. But Ricky set the path. He set the path, so it's been really easy for us to transition in because he did such a great job. And we're always looking for bus drivers, but our bus drivers, if a kid misses the bus at the high school, another bus coming through is going to pick them up, get them to where they need to be. They do a great job. And you're right, we did do a bus driver appreciation week a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. All of our schools pitched in, gave all the bus drivers a t-shirt. Gary, the way I look at this is a team. I know you see the signs and the t-shirts and people may think that it's corny, but teamwork really does make the dream work. And our bus drivers, as much as part of the team as I am sitting here in this chair.
Mm-hmm. And we appreciate those bus drivers who do get up early and take care of the kids, getting them there. We're sometimes late too. But as we mentioned, this week there's actually is School Board Appreciation Week.
It is.
An opportunity to appreciate everybody. So you're going to have a recognition of that, I believe.
We are. The Kentucky School Boards Association uses the month of January to recognize all school board members across the state of Kentucky. And I'm very proud of the fact that in Marion County we've always done a really good job recognizing our board members. We have our chair and our vice chair, Butch Cecil and Kaylin Reed. They've been on the board now for almost 4 years. And then we have 3 board members, Peggy Downs, Brad Cox, and Carrie Truitt. They're completing their first year. So we've got a group of ladies and gentlemen that work really hard. There's, again, a lot of things behind the scenes that folks don't see, which is a lot of prep work. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of material to know and go over. I send a lot of emails. I try to keep them informed of what's going on in the schools. There's a lot of activities that they're invited to. And our board members, Gary, I don't know if people know this, they're very involved in the community beyond just what we do here at the Marion County Board of Education. So I think we're very fortunate. Each of them bring a wealth of experience to the board, and each bring a unique experience. So I think that's what makes our board function so well. Each board member as collectively come together, and we're making decisions about what we think we can do to dream, believe, achieve here in Marion County Public Schools. So excited about Thursday. Judge David Daughtery will be coming in and reading a proclamation. Our schools will be doing a little something for our board members. And like you said, in Marion County Public Schools, we do want to recognize and appreciate as many people possible. And since we're talking about recognition, I'd also like to say that also Thursday night, we are going to be recognizing 2 of our teachers who have become National Board Certified. Mm-hmm. And Marion County, we actually have more National Board Certified teachers in our district per capita than any other district in the state of Kentucky. So we're very pleased to recognize those ladies. So Stephanie Keeling and Kim Harden will also be recognized at the board meeting. Again, great teaching and learning. That's what we're striving for in Marion County.
Great. Now, also, we want to talk about calendars. Since we've had, this was the first actual snow or ice day, but there have been 3 days so far this year that you have had to take off. And you won't be setting the final school days until probably later in the year, right? Mm-hmm. But also, people are asking about next year, and there's kind of a little change that's going on with how that's being arranged, right?
Right. Last year, the General Assembly passed a bill where they're actually, the makeup of the calendar committee looks a little bit different, which is that you're going to have 2 members of the community that is directly associated with the Chamber of Commerce and or tourism. And then we've always had parents and teachers that are part of the committee, but it was that they wanted to see if school could start later because of tourism, closer to that Monday before Labor Day. Now, obviously, if we live closer to some of the lake areas, obviously that is would be something that folks would look at. But, there is a possibility that we could start later. But I think in our case, if we did start later, then that would mean no fall break. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but I am saying that in some communities, that may be the direction that they go because of the tourism that's going on in their community. We will have teachers, principals, staff, certified and classified, parents, and local community leaders that will be a part of deciding what our calendar looks like. And I guess what a lot of folks need to know is basically you're just going through and deciding what days that you are going to take off. Like, how long is Christmas break? Do you take a spring break? Do you take a fall break? Because we're mandated to have so many instructional minutes and so many days. So again, a lot of background work goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
We've traditionally had 174 days for students. We have 3 staff work days, and then our teachers actually have 4 professional development days. So hopefully within the next month or 2, I'll be able to give you a more detailed summary of what the following calendar year is going to look like. But for this year, currently, our spring break is still intact, and that's going to be the first full week in April.
Okay. So this year, spring break, as we stand right now, who knows with the weather? I mean,
absolutely.
So that is a consideration. The last day of school will be determined as we get a little closer, and again with the weather and all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of an update on what next year is looking like, and hopefully we'll have more information on that when we get together in the next month or 2 with the superintendent here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
And again, I've been here with Taylora Schlosser, who is the Marion County School Superintendent. This has been Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television.